Hello people of YouTube, 'tis I once more, the Crimson Assassin, here today to give you guys the first ever review for Anime Movie Month. A month where I dedicate nothing but anime movies of the highest quality. Now, last week I was actually supposed to review a Studio Ghibli film, but I watched Ponyo, but I never actually got the chance to review it, and part of the reason why was because Ponyo was a good movie, but it was just mediocre. It wasn't really anything special. The animation was great, the voice acting was solid, the story was okay and decent. There were a lot of things that could have been addressed even more throughout the film, but Ponyo was an okay film. But we're not going to talk about Ponyo today, people. In fact, we're going to talk about a movie that quite similar to my last year's one of the animes that I saw last year, The Wolf's Children. Quite similar to that, this movie blew me away, and just how awesome and just visually stunning its story, its characters, and just about everything this film has to offer. The movie I'm talking about and reviewing today is obviously the title of this video, Tokyo Godfathers. So the story of Tokyo Godfathers basically follows three homeless people, Hana, Gin, and Miyuki, as they find this abandoned baby in a bunch of garbage, and they take care of this baby while trying to find the original parents, while also getting to know their backstory and who these characters are. You get a backstory, and then you basically go on like the semi-mini journey throughout Tokyo to try to find the original parents' owners. So I've heard some things about Tokyo Godfathers. I don't know too much about it. All I knew is that it was a movie, and it was has the same kind of animation style as The Wolf's Children, and I like the animation for Wolf's Children, so I thought, well, might as well check out Tokyo Godfathers, and I hear it's a really solid movie. And quite honestly, people of YouTube, this has to be probably one of the most entertaining, solid movies I've seen in an anime film in general. It's a very solid anime film. So what are the pros and what are the cons? Well, the pros kind of outweigh the cons in a lot of sense when you watch Tokyo Godfathers. The animation is visually stunning. The animation is sometimes very dark, but at moments the bright, vivid colors of how the snow looks and how everything looks in the anime is just fantastic. The overall animation is solid, but it's kind of what you expect in a somewhat modern day anime, so there's nothing really to write home about when it comes to that department, but the animation is still solid nonetheless. But what makes an entertaining movie solid is two things: the story and the characters. The story of the film, albeit very basic, is very solid, very entertaining, and it'll keep you interested throughout the story. You get a lot of backstory about the three main characters, Gin, Hana, and Miyuki, as they, kind of take care of this baby while trying to find their original owners. You get their backstory. I especially love the backstory that they gave to Gin. I'm not really going to explain to you what his backstory is. In fact, I'm not going to explain to you what any of the backstories are for these characters. But let's just say all of the backstories for every single one of the characters is established and solved throughout, and it's very, very decent. I like the character development that these characters are given. The bond that these three characters share is very strong, very convincing, and just above all else, very strong. You really do feel a strong bond between the three main characters, and especially the little baby Kyoko, as they name her. I'm sorry. You do feel a sense of camaraderie, feel a strong sense of bond. Albeit, I kind of wish they would kind of delve into the fact on how really, what was their point? How did they really become homeless? I mean, they sort of explain it, but not really an entirely full. But you know what? I could let that slide for an hour-and-a-half film. They did the best that they could, given their backstories. And the characters themselves are all solid, like I mentioned before, all solid, entertaining. throughout. I especially love Gin and his backstory. I like Hana. He was very funny throughout. He was sort of like the comic relief of the anime, but he served his purpose very well. He was very funny, and also he was very kind and caring. The banters and exchange between him and Gin are without a doubt probably some of the best dialogue in the anime, and it's just solid bond and solid character development. I especially liked the female, Miyuki. She was also solid, albeit out of all the three main characters, she kind of had the less backstory. I kind of, you kind of wonder, why did she really stab her parents? Or not really stab, but she stabbed her dad. Oops, spoiler. But, you kind of don't get really a big explanation, but that's besides the point. Like I said, they did the best that they could, given with the hour and a half length that they gave. Above all else, people of YouTube, there's not really much I can say about Tokyo Godfathers. The film is just all out solid with very interesting characters, very interesting story, and above all else, it's a very solid film. I especially love. You want to know what I absolutely loved about this film? Actually, is that they actually hired Spanish voice actors. Yeah, which by the way, let's get this out of the way. This film is not in English dubbed. It's only available in the Japanese subbed with subtitles, and the voice acting was very solid, but one of the things I was quite shocked about the voice acting was that they actually hired a Spanish female male voice actors. I thought that was actually pretty freaking awesome. Never in my life, I would have heard a Spanish voice actor in a Japanese anime. Sometimes in animes, they try to tackle English, but Spanish, wow, I was completely mind blown that they actually added a Spanish voice actor in the anime. I was quite pleasant. I actually really liked that. But nonetheless, people of YouTube, I don't have really much to say about the film besides the cons. A few irritations here or there. I wish, like I mentioned before, I wish they kind of delved into more of Miyuki's backstory. And I also wish they kind of explored more of Hana's backstory. Why is he really a transgender, transvestite? They didn't really explain to you why he was like that. But like I mentioned before, it's an hour and a half long film. You're not really supposed to, get a lot of character development out of it. But, they gave you enough to really establish their character. And I love that. But nonetheless, people of YouTube, I do think Tokyo Godfathers is a very solid film. In fact, I recommend this to each and every single one of you watching this video right now. With that being said, people of YouTube, my final verdict for Tokyo Godfathers is a solid 9.5 out of 10. Like I mentioned before, there were a bit of backstories and stuff that needed to be explained, which kind of deteriorated from a full-on 10. But had they given a little full 15 minutes here or there, developing their backstory, I think this film would have been a perfect 10 out of 10. So, people of YouTube, I'm sorry. I wish I can give it a 10, but you know what? A 9.5 is still a solid animated film. I do recommend it. Go check out Tokyo Godfathers. It's available in Kiss Anime right now. That being said, people of YouTube, 'tis I, the Crimson Assassin, here to give you, hopefully, more anime movie reviews later on in the future. So until then, people of YouTube, peace out. And I did this all in one take. I'm awesome. Peace, YouTube.